Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today's an exciting day. The brand spanking new iPhone 13, 13 mini, 13 Pro, and Pro Max are all available for pre-order. Whether you get that through Apple, through your carrier, however you go about it, today is the day. And what I want to do in this video is kind of condense things down, give you the rundown on what's different on each model, and maybe if you should consider buying one or upgrading from your current model. If you're using an iPhone 12 or any 12 series, I'm going to tell you right now that answer is most likely no, but we'll talk about that more in the video. But if you're coming from an 11, a 10, especially a 10s, anything like that, there are some substantial reasons to consider switching to a new one. We're going to talk about all this, go through all four models. I'll break it down in depth. But before we get into that, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thank you for being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Now let's talk about the iPhone 13 models. And may the odds be ever in your favor. Okay, I'm going to lump this in a little bit because the iPhone 13 and 13 mini are exactly the same, other than the size differences. Same thing with the Pro and the Pro Max. That's how Apple does it. So when you go to the website, you're going to have two options. They're going to tell you about the new iPhone 13 and the new iPhone 13 Pro. Within that, you find the Pro and Pro Max, and you find the 13 and the 13 mini. The iPhone 13 and 13 mini are exactly the same size as last year. Nothing has changed. You can even use your cases from last year. So if you're worried about getting a new one, you want to save some money, you can use your old case from last year. The only difference really aesthetically on the outside is the cameras, instead of being top and bottom, are going to be at an angle. So in the corners. Whoopity-doo. I guess they just had to change something on there. There are 5 new colors. So they have this new one is called, I think it's Starlight, which is their white color. Basically, they have red, white, blue, black, and pink. That's pretty much it. You have 5 colors on the new iPhone 13 and the 13 mini, which is fine. If you like those, go for it. Pink is cool. I think some people are going to like that. I missed the purple. I'm shooting on my purple iPhone 12 right now. It's going to be hard to do this. I really love the purple color. But anyway, so those are the colors. Screen size, iPhone mini, still 5.4 inches. iPhone 13, 6.1, which is actually the same size screen as you get on the Pro. It's just that, well, the Pro has more Pro features, an additional camera, some of that other stuff. What's changed? So in the iPhone 13 mini, you get an extra hour and a half of battery life, they say. And the 13, they say you get an extra 2.5 hours of battery life. They chopped that down last year by about 7% on the battery, from what I can remember, but they added about 8 or 9% this year, so they gave it right back. We have enhanced 5G. So the 5G is going to actually support more bands, especially globally, so that way it's more widely available and has better signal basically everywhere. Something you've not really been able to say about the iPhone in the past, because they always had the Intel modems and those were terrible. So better modem, hopefully better speeds, and they're talking about a special mode. It's basically going to do some automatic stuff behind the scene. It will use 5G, but if it detects that you don't need 5G, it might drop it down to LTE so you can get better connection or save on battery, whichever that means. So, a little bit better battery life. New processor. It's got the A15 Bionic. Last year had the A14 Bionic. You're not going to notice any difference. You're just not. So, that's one of the things. It's going to have a more powerful processor. That's great. But you won't be able to tell. So that's why I say if you're looking to upgrade, really not a whole lot of reasons here. There is a new camera mode. It's called cinematic mode. So it's really neat. If you watch the keynote, it does this shifting zoom, and it can do it automatically or manually. And it's like when you watch like drama movies, you have these different intimate scenes, and you see 2 people, and there's one person in the forefront, one person in the back, and it has the zoom, and it zooms on that first person, and the background is kind of blurred out, and then it shifts. And then it will look at the person in the back and will focus on them, and then the one in the front becomes blurry. So it's this really cool bokeh effect thing that it does. I like it. It's pretty darn neat. So you do have this availability, but you're not going to... it's called rack zoom is what it's called in the industry. I'm not in the industry. It's just cool. So you're going to get that. You're not going to get the ProRes feature, though, which is only going to be on the Pro. Part of the whole Pro thing. They're trying to make the iPhone Pros more pro. They call it the most pro iPhone Pro yet, which, okay, yeah. It's just like every year they're like, this is the fastest iPhone. I'm like, well, you put a new processor. Of course it's the fastest iPhone ever. So, yes. New camera mode, cool shift feature with the zoom, better battery life, new processor, better 5G, and some new colors. That's mostly what you're going to get with the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 13 mini. Also, this is probably the best upgrade, is more storage. Last year, you could only get a maximum of 64 gigabytes of storage, which was utter pants. It was terrible. So now you get a baseline 128. So all four models, whether you get the mini, the regular, the Pro, or the Pro Max, all start with 128. The 13 and the 13 mini go up to 512. The Pro and Pro Max are going to go up to 1 terabyte. So this is the first ever terabyte iPhones. And it makes sense because now they have the ProRes video mode and some other stuff. So, I mean, it's feasible that you could really rack up some of the video using the rack focus. So, anyway, that's about it. Pricing is the same as last year. $699 for the mini, $799 for the regular iPhone 13. That's good. I mean, we're getting new stuff and the price has stayed the same. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. If you're interested in finding out about trade-in deals, I also made a video about that, covering that completely for carriers and for iPhone. You can find that right up here. Okay, so I'm at about the 6-minute mark. I'm trying to get this all in 10 minutes, so let's see if we can talk fast enough. iPhone 13 Pro, iPhone 13 Pro Max. So, iPhone 13, about an hour and a half extra battery life. iPhone 13 Pro Max, about an extra 2.5 hours battery. They reworked the cameras. Also, going back to the 13 and the 13 mini, they are new cameras, so you're going to get better pictures in low light and some other things. It's kind of neat. You have the primary and the ultra-wide camera in the 13 and the 13 mini. In the Pro and the Pro Max, you have a new primary camera. You have a new telephoto lens, 3 times optical zoom, which is great. No 2.2. 3 times is good. And you get a new ultra wide, which is also capable of macro photography. So that's really cool. They showed that off in the keynote. It looks really nice. Play around with it. Have some fun. So you get the macro photography. You get the rack zoom, also with the 13 and 13 Pro. And you also get the ProRes. ProRes is a codec that's used for compression on video. So when you shoot in video, you want to have the best quality, but you don't want your file size to be like 50 gigabytes for a 10-minute video. You can really rack up video size, especially when you're doing cinematography stuff. So, cinema quality cinematography. So, when you're in here shooting, that's what they've done, is they've given us ProRes. ProRes, this is the first time it's ever been on a phone. It's a big deal. Actual people use this for shooting commercials and actual movies. So, it's a high quality, really great codec. It's why the phone is Pro. Also, we're getting the Pro Motion Display. If you're not familiar with this, they've had it in the iPad Pros for a while. 120 hertz refresh rate. It will not always run at 120 hertz. It's got an adjustable refresh rate based on what you're doing. It can go down as low as 10 refreshes per second, 10 hertz or 120 hertz. What that is how many times the screen refreshes in a second. It makes everything look smoother, especially when you're scrolling through your Instagram feed, when you're watching video, when you're playing games. It's nice. It feels really, really smooth, and I like it a lot. I've been using it in Android phones for a while. So, 120 hertz Pro Motion, that's great. So you get Pro Motion, you get the rack zoom, you get cinematography mode, we're going to get better low light, you're going to get better battery life, you're going to get better 5G, you're going to get the new cameras with the enhanced telephoto zoom, also better nighttime photos and video, and you're going to get so much stuff. More baseline storage. Actually, the Pros were already 128 last year, but you're going to have up to 1 terabyte of storage, which is great if you want to pay $1,599. So the iPhone 13 Pro is still going to be $999, which is great. The iPhone 13 Pro Max is still going to be $1,099. And it's going to go up. They'll go up 128, 256, 512, and 1 terabyte. So the Pro Max is going to be $1,099, $1,199 for the 256, $1,499 for the 512, and then $1,599 for the 1 terabyte. And that's a lot. It's a lot of storage. It's a lot of money. So yeah, also the A15 Bionic processor, still the same screen size. The new colors, you're going to have graphite, which is like a gray. They don't have space gray this year. They have silver, they have gold, and they have a new blue. The new blue is kind of like the blue in the background, which is why I chose it today. Ta-da! So it's a, what is it called? I forgot. Last year's was Pacific Blue. This one, I'm drawing a blank, but it's a slightly lighter blue. You'll have to see it to believe it. We'll see if it's good. I'm probably going to go with the graphite one, I think. Either graphite or gold. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to get the 13 Pro, and that's what I'm going to rock and go with. But I think that's the biggest things. Also, there are some video features. I can't remember all these off the top of my head. So you're going to get macro photography with the Pros, telephoto night mode. That's what I meant to talk about. Night mode portraits, which is good. You're going to get that with the pros, not the regulars. It requires the LiDAR sensor. There's a brand new autofocus in addition to the new cameras with the 13 Pro and Pro Max as well, and ProRes. So that's pretty much it in the camera department for those. And also their Smart HDR4. This is going to be for all of them. It's part of the A15 chip, allows it to do this. And photographic styles, which allows you different things for like boosting and muting colors and skin tones and some cool stuff you can do. So that's pretty much it. If you have the 12 or the 12 Pro, either one of those series, you really don't need to upgrade. There's not a whole lot here on a year-over-year upgrade. If you're a tech head, if you just have to have the new one, if you're on a year upgrade cycle, if you pay that extra money so you can get a new phone every year, go for it. Knock your socks off. You'll probably like it. What's nice is you can use the same accessories as last year, so you don't have to spend more money on a case. If you want to, you can. There's a bunch of new color options, and you can check those out on the Apple website. There's a whole bunch of new color options. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure there will be another color that comes out in the spring. Hopefully it's purple again. You do have the product red with the iPhone 13 and 13 mini, so that's cool. Maybe one day we can get a product red iPhone Pro model. That would be cool as well. But that's pretty much it. If you are just a normal person and you are already got the iPhone 12, I don't really recommend upgrading. If you've got the 11, maybe. One of the biggest incentives, if you look at like the 10 and the 10S, definitely you want to upgrade. Much better battery life, much better performance. You get 5G. There's a lot of stuff that was missing in those old 10 and 10S phones. If you've got an 11, yeah, you can if you want. You're going to see it maybe a little bit of performance, especially in the camera department and the video modes. They're not going to make those backwards compatible for the older phones, even though it's a software and not a camera thing. So that's, I guess, one of the incentives to buy a new one. I wish they would. That would be nice, but they're not like Google and they don't do that. So, yeah, best iPhones ever, most iPhone Pro ever. I like that the prices stay the same. I like the increased storage options. I like the ProMotion display on the Pros. There are some really cool reasons there. If you want to go from a 12 to a 13 Pro, there's definitely a lot there that you're going to appreciate and enjoy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you're a tech person, if you like just have to have the latest and greatest, go out and get it. You're probably going to like it. Do whatever makes you happy. And if you're like, hey, I'm on the fence, should I get one? If you got an iPhone 12, I really wouldn't look at it at all. 11, maybe. A 10 and 10S, definitely worth considering an upgrade. So that's all I got in this video. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully this gives you and empowers you with all the information you need so you can go out and be prosperous and get the iPhone of your dreams that you want, or hold off until next year. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And I'm sorry I didn't make it in 10 minutes. This was just under 13, but that's like all from memory. I did it as best as I could. It was a lot. So thanks a lot, guys. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.